Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Shaw Prize Foundation, welcome to the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center, and thank you for attending the Shaw Prize Award Presentation Ceremony 2008.
Tonight is very special. We have also invited student representatives from the 11 universities and educational institutions in Hong Kong as guests to meet with the world's distinguished scientists and benefit from this invaluable experience.
Tonight, we are most honored to have the Honorable Donald Tsang, Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China, and Mr. Run Run Shaw, founder of the Shaw Prize, to officiate the presentation. It is time for the commencement of the Shaw Prize Award Presentation 2008.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome our officiating guest, the Honorable Donald Tsang, accompanied by the founder of the Shaw Prize, Mr. Run Run Shaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, please also rise to welcome the 6 Shaw laureates to enter the presentation hall. Firstly, the Shaw laureate in Astronomy 2008, Professor Reinhard Genzel, please.
There are 3 Shaw laureates in Life Science and Medicine 2008. Firstly, Sir Ian Wilmot and Professor Keith H.S. Campbell, please. Now, Professor Shinya Yamanaka.
Lastly, the 2 Shaw laureates in Mathematical Sciences 2008, Professor Vladimir Arnold, please. Professor Ludwig Fadeev, please.
We would now like to invite the chairman of the Board of Adjudicators, Professor Chen Ning Yang, to deliver a speech.
Sir Run Run and Lady Shaw, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th Annual Shaw Prize Award Ceremony. Tonight, we shall be honoring 6 laureates. Professor Reinhard Genzel, working with Charlie Towns, led to the discovery of a huge black hole in the center of our galaxy. This discovery profoundly influenced current thinking about the early formation of all the galaxies in the universe. This year's Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine is awarded to Sir Ian Wilmot, Professor Keith Campbell, and Professor Shinya Yamanaka for their work in the cloning process of mammalian cells and in stem cell production. The possible benefits of future developments along such research lines are limitless. Professor Arnold made fundamental contributions to the study of the stability of dynamical systems. Professor Fadeev, together with Professor Boris Popov have solved a fundamental and difficult problem in non-abelian gauge theory. Professor Arnold and Professor Faddeev's work have profoundly influenced the developments of both mathematics and physics. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Yan.
We now invite the chairman of the Shaw Prize in Astronomy Committee, Professor Jin Shang Chen, to deliver a speech.
Starting in 1990, Genzel and his collaborators continued to develop new instruments to observe the center of the Milky Way at near-infrared wavelengths and with unprecedented angular resolution. In 1996, they reported 2 independent observations of the motions of stars clustered very close to the center of the Milky Way, both of which provided compelling evidence that the central object was indeed a supermassive black hole, and the proof of Genzel's group leaves little doubt that similar concentrations of stars seen at the center of other nearby galaxies also manifest the presence of supermassive black hole. The fact that many galaxies contain supermassive black holes is one of the outstanding clues to the mystery of how galaxies form. For his great achievements, Professor Genzel is most worthy recipient of the Shaw Prize in Astronomy for 2008. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Chen.
We now invite the chairman of the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine Committee, Professor Yue Kan, to deliver his speech.
The 2008 Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine honors the scientists who discovered this mammalian phenomenon. Their contribution gives us insights into normal and abnormal mammalian development and provide new approaches to improve agriculture and to treat human diseases. Wilmot and Campbell worked together at the Roslin Institute in Edinburgh. They used the sheep model to understand the physiology of embryo development. They transferred the nuclei of fetal and adult cells into unfertilized eggs and derived newborn sheep from them. One life born that they called Dolly. Thus, Dolly was the first example of reprogramming the adult cell back to totipotency in mammals. The work of Wilmot and Campbell has been duplicated in many other animal species and has provided an approach to improve agricultural practices and to produce useful therapeutic agents. Professor Yamanaka research focuses on ways to reprogram the adult cells back to the embryonic cell directly. By directly reprogramming adult skin cells from a patient into stem cells, these cells can be used to study the biochemical processes that lead to the disease and to design new drugs to interfere with the disease process. The defects that cause the disease can also be corrected in the patient's own stem cells, and the corrected cell returned to the patient for treatment.
Thank you, Professor Kan.
May we now invite the chairman of the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences Committee, Sir Michael Atiyah, to deliver a speech.
It was Isaac Newton who developed and applied the calculus to the study of dynamics, notably to the motion of the planets around the sun. Although Newton solved the two-body problem, showing that the motion of a single planet is an ellipse, the general n-body problem, which incorporates the mutual influence of the planets on each other, is very much harder. It is problems such as this that Arnold, together with Kolmogorov and Moser, attacked with great success. This work has been enormously influential, still underlies current developments. In combining geometrical and physical insight, Arnold is a true disciple of Isaac Newton. Faraday has studied differential equations in the context of quantum mechanics. His most celebrated contribution was his collaboration with Victor Popov in showing how one should go about quantizing the famous Yang-Mills equations. And their approach laid the foundations for all subsequent work in this area. For these widespread and important contributions to mathematical physics, Vladimir Arnold and Ludwig Fedyaev are worthy winners of the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences of 2008. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Michael.
Now, it is time for the award presentation.
The Shaw Prize in Astronomy 2008 goes to Professor Reinhard Genzel. Professor Genzel is currently the director of Max Planck Institute for Extraterrestrial Physics in Germany.
In research, there's no path which somebody tells you to go, especially in those parts of research which are unknown, and that's often the best. And so there you have to pick the right direction. Our measurements in the end now are so close in that we can exclude any other configuration but a black hole.
Congratulations and thank you, Professor Genzel.
It's a great pleasure for me to be here and accept this great, great honor. It's also a great pleasure to be here in this wonderful city of Hong Kong. It's remarkable that many, many hundreds of years later, thousands of years later, in the beginning of the 21st century, we're still here and are celebrating a golden phase of discovery and invention in astronomy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Genzel. Half of the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine 2008 goes to Sir Ian Wilmot and Professor Keith H.S. Campbell jointly. Sir Ian is currently the director of MRC Centre of Regenerative Medicine at the University of Edinburgh in the United Kingdom.
One thing that's been constant since the announcement of Dolly has been invitations to go to meetings. So I turn down way more than half of the invitations and still travel an awful lot, because I want people to think of me now, as I am, rather than only because of Dolly. And would like to think maybe I've still just got time to do something else interesting.
Professor Campbell is currently the Professor of Animal Development in School of Biosciences at the University of Nottingham in United Kingdom.
Previously, it had been suggested and written by scientists that this was an impossible task. I don't believe anything's impossible. I think some things are improbable. We've increased the frequency of embryos which will develop to live, viable, healthy offspring. We're now at about 20%.
Congratulations and thank you.
The other half of the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine 2008 goes to Professor Shinya Yamanaka.
Yamanaka is currently the professor and director of the Center for iPS Cell Research and Application ICEMS at Kyoto University in Japan.
It is a breakthrough in that we only need 3 or 4 factors to induce reprogramming. Probably the most success in my 20 years as a scientist. If human ES cells or human embryo, using human embryos is the only way to save the patients, I would be happy to do that.
Congratulations and thank you, Professor Yamanaka.
I am, of course, delighted and honoured to accept this award. In a very real sense, I accept it on behalf of the whole team who were involved in the research, and that, of course, includes my fellow laureate, Keith Campbell. I'm also very grateful for the award because it recognises the importance of this area of research. I thank you very much indeed for the honour and for the opportunity to create these new opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Yoon. We now invite Professor Campbell, also the Shaw Laureate in Life Science and Medicine.
It gives me great pleasure and enormous pride to be awarded or added to the list of the Shaw Laureates, and I thank the committee for considering me and instigating this award. The production of animals by nuclear transfer requires the coordination of many skills. I would like to thank everyone who's been involved in these studies over the years. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Professor Campbell.
We now wish to invite another Shaw Laureate in Life Science and Medicine, Professor Shinya Yamanaka.
It is a distinct honor to receive the Shaw Prize 2008. Thanks to many wonderful colleagues and thanks to incredibly good luck, we were able to identify 4 factors that can convert adult skin cells into stem cells. Finally, I'd like to express my sincere thanks to my wife and family who always support me. Thank you very much.
Lastly, the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences 2008. This year we have 2 laureates. The first half goes to Professor Vladimir Arnold.
Professor Arnold is currently the chief scientist of Steklov Mathematical Institute in Moscow in Russia.
The word mathematics means exact knowledge. In the family, they told that my first mathematical discovery was made when I was 4 years old. I never stopped. I have no plans to stop.
Congratulations and thank you, Professor Arnold.
The other half of the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences 2008 goes to Professor Ludwig Fadeev. Professor Fadeev is currently the director of ULUC International Mathematical Institute at Petersburg Department of Steklov Institute of Mathematics in St. Petersburg in Russia.
My contribution was in understanding that this particular operator must be taken as a sum of 3 different ones, which corresponds to 3 possible channels. So my paper was immediately used for practical calculations for nuclear reactors.
May we now invite the Shaw Laureate in Mathematical Sciences, Professor Vladimir Arnold.
I consider this prize as a high appreciation of mathematics. My works have been applied to such domains as, for instance, planetary system stability,
thermonuclear controlled reactors, magnetic traps, galaxies clustering, quantum catastrophes theory, chaos statistics, light focusing, algebraic geometry, and mathematical physics.
Thank you, Professor Ahn.
We now invite the Shaw Laureate, also in mathematical sciences, Professor Ludwig Fediv.
The Shaw Prize is the most valuable estimation of my scientific work. Professor Young has made a special impact of my activity. The quantization of Young-Mills field, which I performed together with Victor Popov, is my most known result in application to physics. I believe that Mr. Shaw and Shaw Foundation have made an outstanding contribution to support of fundamental science. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Fediv. We now invite Mr. Zhang, Mr. Shaw, and the 6 laureates to take a group photo to commemorate this great occasion.
We look forward to seeing you again next year and to witness the Shaw Prize's recognition and celebration of the accomplishment of distinguished scientists and scholars.
Thank you, good night, goodbye, and see you all next year.
Thank you, goodbye.